Today, we travel to Mexico to tell you the legend of the doghouse. It is about the life of Jesus Flores, a widowed coffee grower who at 70 years old was very tired of living alone. He was desperate to find a life companion, so he asked several women to marry him. Don Jesus lived on Santo Domingo Street. Very close to his house lived a widowed woman with 3 beautiful daughters. The family was well known in the area. They were dedicated to sewing and had a reputation of very good workmanship. The eldest of the sisters married a handsome and wealthy gentleman. The middle one, Elodia, very beautiful, was courted by Don Jesus, but she rejected him to marry a rich potter from Tlaquepaque. In the end, it was quite normal, since Don Jesus was already in his old age. It was said in town that as a young man he was very handsome, but that was lost with time. What he did not lose was the money, which grew and grew without stopping in his safe. This did not go unnoticed by Ana, the third of the widow's daughters. He had never noticed her before, but after the young woman made herself noticed, he soon asked her to marry him. The young woman had very clear ideas, so soon after her marriage, she asked her husband to build a second floor in the house. Only wealthy families could afford something like that, and she wanted to be seen. Don Jesus quickly got to work on the house. To top it off, Ana commissioned 2 sculptures that came directly from New York. They were 2 huge dogs in the 2 corners of the facade. This christened the House of Dogs. But soon, rumors began to surface in town. Don Jesus entrusted his business to a gentleman named José Cuervo. He was a hard-working and very skilled man who managed day after day to multiply his master's fortune. And he was also young. That is why it was rumored that he and his master's wife were having an affair. Not much later, Don Jesus passed away, and therefore Doña Ana was left a widow. But she could not stand the loneliness, so she quickly ran into the arms of her deceased husband's employee. Meanwhile, he continued to build up the family fortune by working hard. They planned to get married, but weeks before the day set for the wedding, strange episodes began to happen at the doghouse. Suddenly, voices seemed to come from beyond the grave. Lights flickered, doors opened and closed on their own. Everything indicated that someone wanted to scare the people who lived there. Would it be Don Jesus? The new lovers, frightened by everything that was happening there, ended up building a new house. There they went to live their romance, far from that mansion where the widow had all the memories of her deceased husband. They sold the property in a few months, but the new owner did not stay there long and ended up abandoning it. The reason is not known, although we can imagine that paranormal events had a lot to do with it. At that time, a legend began to circulate in the city. It was said that whoever prayed a novena at the mausoleum of Don Jesus Flores would receive the deeds to the House of Dogs as a prize. He had to do it at 12 o'clock at night, taking a candle as his only companion. Knowing the great economic value of the house, there were many who tried to carry it out. But no one succeeded, because when they were about to finish, a voice from beyond the grave answered the prayer. Then the person was frightened and ran away. Some even ended up fainting, and someone else would pick them up the next day. It seems clear that Don Jesus did not want anyone else to live there, and he succeeded because the house was uninhabited until years later it became a printing press and museum. Do you believe in haunted houses? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. And if you want to see more Draw My Life horror videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode.